Hello students, myself Nisha Parekh and today I am going to discuss with you all victimology. Whenever we are talking about the criminal jurisprudence, criminology and law of crimes, we always discuss about punishment to offenders, offenders rehabilitation, police reform, etc. But what about the person who have suffered because of the crime? And victimology, it's a part of this criminology or criminal jurisprudence which discuss about the victims or sufferer of the crime. Offenders were the only person looked after by the whole criminology and the all concerned with a view to punish and reform them. But the victims of the offense were barely looked after. The person abide by law gets suffered and victimized many times. Hence, the very victim had been forgotten class. Victimology is a recent and new branch of criminology. This subject first time referred by von Henting, when Benjamin Mendelssohn, known as a father of this branch of criminology, who had started it in 5th decade of the 20th century in 1940. Victimology means relation between sufferer of the crime and author of the crime in which victim have not contributed anything for the emergence of crime. Defined by Sketcher, Suffs and Garofalo, victimology is a science which studies offender and victim vis-a-vis inter se relationship. It's concerned with how the very victim can be rehabilitated. Now, the important question is, who is victim? A victim is a creation of crime and every crime produces a victim. The term victim is defined under section 2 subsection WA of the Criminal Procedure Code, a person who has suffered any loss or injury caused by reason of the act or omission for which the accused person has been charged, and the expression victim include his or her guardian and the legal heir. Victim include not only the direct sufferer but also includes all the dependents to who suffer physically, emotionally, socially and financially. The term victims also include innocent family members of offender who may fall prey to the criticism, anger, spite, liaison as they are having relationship with the offender for no fault of their own. We can classify victims in three parts: primary victims, secondary victims and related victims. Primary victim is a person who is injured or die as a direct result of the violent crime against him. We can conclude primary victim is a person who also trying to prevent the commission of violent crime. Secondary victim is a person who is present at the scene of violent crime and who is injured as a direct result of witnessing that crime, means on whom crime is committed is a primary victim and person who witnessed this crime is a secondary victim. Related victim is a person who at the time of crime was a close family member of the dependent member or dependent of primary victim. Demographic features of victim. There are many demographic features which affect the victimization. The first features or first factor is gender. Males are more likely than females to become victim of category of violent crime except rape, sexual assault, and domestic violence. Second characteristic or feature is age. Teenager and young adults were more likely than older person to become victim of violent crimes. Third factor is income. The person or the household earn less money, the more likely to become victim of property crime in compared to person in higher income category. Fourth is marital status. The victimization rate for the rape and sexual assaults are significantly higher for never married or widow person. But the married women are more prone to crime like domestic violence in compared to unmarried women. Fifth is place of residence. Persons living in urban areas are more likely to be victimized by property crime in compared to persons living in rural area or village places. There are four main theories of victimology. The first theory is precipitation theory. The theory explains relationship of victim to that of offenders or crime. It explains that the victim themselves may actually initiate either passively or actively the criminal act that ultimately led to the injury or death. During passive precipitation, the victim unconsciously exhibits behavior that instigate or encourage the attack. We can take example, a politician who may feel threatened by activist group leader because his action draw attention to negative aspect of politician's personality. And hate crime is also example of this theory, in which victims are often unaware of individuals that commit the crime, yet his characteristic trigger the crime. Second is lifestyle theory. This theory stated that individuals are targeted based on their life choice, which expose them to criminal offenders and situation in which crime may be committed. Such lifestyle choices are going out at night alone, living on bad parts of town, associating with known offenders, doing narcotic drugs, etc. Personality traits are also part of lifestyle, namely impulsive nature of someone and low self-control. This theory suggests that victimization is not random but rather part of lifestyle of the victim. Third theory is deviant place theory. As per this theory, the greater exposure to dangerous places make one more likely to become the victim of crime. Victimization is a result of being in bad areas. In order to lower the chance that one will become the victim of crime, the individual should avoid the bad areas of the town in which crime rates are high. This theory suggests that taking safety precaution in these bad areas may be of little use, since it is the neighborhood and not the lifestyle choice that affect the victimization. If neighborhood is deviant, the only way to lower the risk of victimization is to leave the neighborhood for a less deviant or low crime rates area of the town. The fourth theory is routine activity theory. This theory explains that the rate of victimization through a set of situations that reflects the routine of typical individual. This set of situations are the availability of suitable target, the absence of capable guardians, presence of motivated offenders. According to this theory, the presence of one or more of this above mentioned create a higher risk of victimization. We can take example, leaving one's home during vacation create a suitable target for theft, and leaving one's home on vacation in urban area in which there are many known offenders are there create even higher risk for victimization. Communities with ample police protection, alarm and other security gadgets lower the risk by creating capable guardianship, which is also noted under this theory. Now, the most important topic is compensation to victim of crime in India. A victim of the offense can get compensation in India, but there is set procedure which need to be followed. The compensation has to be ordered by the court. Compensation can be awarded for the material as well as non-material damage. Material damages include medical expenses, expense of litigation, loss of livelihood, etc. Non-material damages include pain, injury, suffering, mental trauma, etc. In criminal cases, the victims can directly apply for the compensation, and it is the duty of the lawyer representing the victim to demand such compensation. The provisions relating to compensation to victim of the crime are contained under section 357 subclause 1, 2 and 3, section 357A, section 358, section 359 and section 250 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. Compensation, where the conviction and fine is a part of sentence. When accused is proved guilty and the court pass an order which contain a fine of any denomination, the court can order such fine or any part of it to be paid to the victim of the crime. The fine imposed is utilized to compensate the victim of fine in 4 ways. First, compensating for the expense occurred during litigation, compensating for loss or injury to be recovered by the civil court, compensation in case of death, compensation of victim of crime in offense like theft, cheating, criminal breach of trust, etc. Compensating for the expense occurred during the litigation. This is very essential relief which a victim of crime must get. Litigation costs in India are very high. The lawyers charge handsome amount. Getting justice at time adds to the burden of the victim itself. Instead of getting justice, the victim is trapped in the honeycomb of justice delivery system. The court knows this fact and thus compensate victim by providing them the expense happen during the litigation. Second, compensation for the loss or injury to be recovered by the civil court. If the court is of the view that the compensation sought is beyond the jurisdiction of the court, the criminal court itself order the appropriate court to look into the matter of compensation. In the payment to any person of compensation or for any loss or injury caused by the offence, when compensation is, in the opinion of the court, recoverable by such person in a civil court. Then compensation in case of death. One might question the fact that who is the victim where death has been caused, as the victim is already dead. Who should be compensated for the crime? It is the family of the victim. Think of the mental trauma they might have gone through. Medical expense happen. Expense during the funeral also. What if the victim who died was the sole bread earner of the family? The court is well aware of such situation. Therefore, the legislature and the judiciary tied their hands to do complete justice. Victims are entitled to recover damage for the person sentenced for the loss resulting to them from such death. When any person is convicted of any offence for having caused the life of another person or having abetted the commission of such crime of like murder, culpable homicide, etc. 4. Compensation of victim of crime in offences like theft, cheating, criminal breach of trust, etc. In case of crime such as theft, cheating, criminal breach of trust, criminal misappropriation, the court either tries for recovery of goods, and in case where recovery is not possible, court order for compensation for the price of such goods. Now, compensation where fine is not part of sentence. First we have discussed, if fine is a part of sentence, the part of fine or some amount from this fine can be provided as a compensation to victim. But so in some cases, accused person are ordered to pay certain sum as compensation to victim of crime who suffered loss or injury, because the fine itself not a part of sentence. Indian legal system is victim friendly and victims' rights are kept at the top of the priority list. When court imposes sentence of which fine does not form a part of sentence, the court may order the accused person to pay by the way of compensation. Such amount may be specified in the order to the person who has suffered any loss or injury by the reason of act for which the accused person has been sentenced. Now, victim compensation scheme. In year 2009, the central government gave direction to every state to prepare scheme which has to be in agreement with the center scheme for the victim compensation. The main purpose of this scheme is to provide fund for the purpose of compensation to the victim or his dependent who have suffered loss or injury as a result of crime and who required rehabilitation. It is the court which order that the victim who have suffered loss need to get compensated. Under this scheme, whenever a recommendation is made by the court for the compensation, the district legal service authority or the state legal service authority, as the case, decide the quantum of compensation to be awarded. Means the district legal service authority and state legal service authority has power to decide the amount of compensation. compensation in case where the accused is not found guilty or the culprits are not traced, where the cases end in acquittal or offenders are discharged, accused are discharged, and the victim has to be rehabilitated, the court may make recommendation to the compensate. Where the offender is not traced or identified but the victim is identified, and where no trial takes place, the victim or his dependent may make an application to the state or district legal service authority for the award of compensation. The state or district legal service authority shall, after due inquiry, award adequate compensation by completing the inquiry within the period of 2 months. Method of disbursement of compensation. The amount of compensation so awarded shall be disbursed by the respective legal service authority by depositing the same in a nationalized bank in joint or single name of victim or dependents. Out of the amount so deposited, 75% amount of the same shall be put in fixed deposit for minimum period of 3 years. The remaining 25% shall be available for utilization and initial expense by the victims or defendants. In case of minor, 80% of the amount of compensation shall be deposited in the fixed deposit account and shall be drawn only attaining the age of majority of victim, but not before the 3 years of depositing. Means at the time of deposit, if the minor is of age 17, he cannot withdraw the amount just because he become major. He has to wait for 3 years.